Good evening, guys. So we'll be taking up a problem on electrostatics again, and we'll be taking up a problem which has been asked in JEE before. So we'll be having a look at this question right now, and that is, you have a spherical portion which is being removed from a solid sphere, and this solid sphere was uniformly charged at the beginning, right? It is uniformly charged in its volume as shown in the figure, and you're removing the spherical portion as shown, right? So this was the solid sphere, you're removing this portion. So we need to find out what the electric field inside the empty space is, right? Whether it's zero everywhere, whether it's non-uniform, whether it's non-zero and uniform, or whether it's zero only at its center, right? So we need to check which of these following options would be correct for the question asked over here, right? So this was a question asked in JEE 2007. So we'll have a look at how to solve this question as well, right? So according to this question, what we have right now is initially we had a uniformly charged solid sphere. And from this uniformly charged solid sphere, you're removing a portion of this kind. You're removing another sphere basically, right? And it's not mentioned as to where exactly or what the radius of this sphere exactly is. So it could be coinciding with its center, it could be beyond its center as well. So let's just take this case over here, right? And let me assume that the volume charge density in this case is rho. The volume charge density of the sphere is rho. And let me take the radius of the entire sphere to be equal to capital R. And the radius of the small sphere to be equal to small r. Radius of the small sphere will be equal to small r, right? And now what we'll try to find out is, we'll try to find out what will be the field. The question asked over here is what will be the field inside the sphere, right? And he's not mentioned any particular point on the sphere. So we'll just take a general point on this cavity right now. And we'll try to find out what will be a general field at a point inside the cavity over here. So let's take a point P over here, right? And let me mark other things. Let me say that the center of the sphere is O. Let me say that the center of the cavity is probably A, right? So we are now trying to find out what will be a field at a point P, which is just a general point inside your cavity right now, right? And let me take this distance as X, the distance OP as X, and let me take the distance AP as Y, which I'll also write it down over here. The distance OP is equal to X, and let me take the distance AP is equal to Y, right? Fine. So now our aim is we'll find out what the field at point P will be equal to. We'll find out what the field at point P is equal to. And your field at this point P, will say, is nothing but the field due to the entire sphere minus field due to the removed portion, minus field due to the removed portion. So basically the field which that removed portion was contributing before it was removed over there, right? So minus field to the sphere removed. So logic behind this is we'll now find out what's the field due to the entire sphere, and then we'll remove the contribution which the smaller sphere had towards creating a field at this point, right? So your field at point P now is field due to the entire sphere minus field due to the sphere removed. And for that we need to use a formula for what the field of a sphere is. So let's have a discussion on that. So what would be a formula for field due to a sphere? The formula for field due to a sphere, and in both the cases, your point is lying inside the sphere. So your small r, that is distance from the center, is less than capital R. That is equal to KQ R by R cube, right? So to avoid confusion, since you've taken smaller already over here, we'll just take, if the distance from the center over here is less than the radius of the sphere, then we already know that the formula for field due to a sphere for a point lying inside the sphere would be equal to KQ R by R cube, This is a formula you're familiar with, right? And please note the difference in the meaning of small r in this question and the small r in this formula. So small r in this formula means the distance from the center of the sphere, And this was the formula for field due to a sphere, right? But now let's try to write this in terms of charge density. So what will be your field due to the sphere at the same point? But now we'll write this in terms of charge density over here. So your formula was equal to KQR divided by R cube. But now I'll write Q in terms of the charge density. So what would your Q over here be in terms of charge density? Since it's a uniformly charged sphere, your charge density will be constant. So we'll take that value as rho. And that multiplied with the volume of the sphere, which is nothing but 4 by 3 pi R cube. So this into small r divided by capital R cube. And I'm simplifying this further. What do we get? Let me write your K value as 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. So this becomes 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught of rho into r cube gets cancelled. So it'll be rho into 4 pi small r divided by 3. So 4 pi also gets cancelled. So you get the field formula due to a sphere for a point lying inside the sphere would be equal to rho r by 3 epsilon naught, where the meaning of r over here is r is the distance from the center, where small r is the distance from the center of the sphere, right? So we'll be making use of this formula to make things pretty easy over here. And this formula is not different from this formula. The only difference is we have now written this in terms of the charge density over here. We'll now apply this formula for our given case. So once again, we need to find out what your field at a point P inside the cavity is. So our logic was, once again, it's field due to the entire sphere minus field due to the removed sphere. We are finding out field at this point. We have taken this distance as x. We have taken OP as x and AP as y. Right? So what will be your field due to this entire sphere at your point P? Can I say that the field due to the entire sphere, like if the entire sphere was there, the field due to the entire sphere at point P would be equal to rho x by 3 epsilon naught? Would be equal to rho x by 3 epsilon naught? Right? Again, the role of small r is being played by x over here. X is the distance of this point P from the center of the sphere. So the formula for the field due to the entire sphere at that point would be equal to rho x by 3 epsilon naught. Similarly, what will be the field due to the removed sphere at that point? So similarly, your point P is lying inside the removed sphere as well. So if you're only considering what is the field due to this sphere at your point P, this point P is located at a distance of y from the center. So the field due to the removed sphere at point P will be equal to rho y by 3 epsilon naught. It will be equal to rho y by 3 epsilon naught over here, right? And field is a vector quantity over here, and we need to subtract these two values. So you also need to take direction into consideration over here. So your field due to the entire sphere at point P, assuming that it's positively charged, would be in the radially outwards direction. It would be in this direction. So to write this answer in a vector form, I'll say that your field due to the entire sphere at this point would be nothing but rho into x bar divided by 3 epsilon naught, where what's your x bar over here? I'm treating x bar as nothing but this vector, right? I'm just multiplying the magnitude with the direction. So that will be equal to x bar itself. That will be equal to nothing but x bar itself. So this will be your field due to the entire sphere. Your field due to the entire sphere will be equal to rho x bar by 3 epsilon naught. And let me remove this arrow. So wouldn't this be a vector? Wouldn't this be a direction? And wouldn't this be a vector notation of the field due to the entire sphere? Similarly, your field due to the removed sphere will be, the value is rho y by 3 epsilon naught. And the direction of field is now again in the radially outward direction. The field due to the entire sphere at this point would once again be in the outward direction over here. So it's in the direction of this y. So that's why you can write this as rho y bar by 3 epsilon naught as well, multiplying that magnitude with the unit vector. And then that itself will become equal to y bar over here. That will be equal to y bar over here, right? So field due to the entire sphere was rho x bar by 3 epsilon naught. The field due to the removed sphere is equal to rho y bar by 3 epsilon naught. And now, what will be the field at point P then? The field at point P is equal to the field due to the entire sphere minus field due to the removed sphere. That would turn out to be rho x bar by 3 epsilon naught minus rho y bar by 3 epsilon naught, which I'll take rho by 3 epsilon naught as constant. So it'll be x bar minus y bar. R minus y bar, right? And x bar minus y bar has a specific meaning in this question, right? So this was your, so drawing that vectors alone over here, this was your vector OP bar, which was your x bar. This was your vector AP bar, which was your y bar. Right? And now I need x bar minus y bar. So that's nothing but the addition of x bar with the negative of y bar. And now this looks like your triangle law of addition diagram. This becomes your triangle law of addition diagram over here. I'm adding x bar to the negative of y bar, which is equal to nothing but x bar minus y bar. So according to the triangle law of addition, this should give us a vector equal to OA bar. So let me write this vector OA bar as A bar. Let me write this vector OA bar as A bar. So from this diagram, we see that x bar minus y bar is equal to A bar, where A bar is nothing but a vector drawn from O to A, a vector drawn from O to A. So you see that your field at point P becomes equal to rho by 3 epsilon naught A bar. And this A bar is a constant for any point. If I now take the same method, if I want to find out, let's say, field at a point Q, once again, it will be equal to rho into this vector bar by 3 epsilon naught. Then rho into this vector bar by 3 minus rho into this vector by 3 epsilon naught. And once again, the difference between these two vectors would once again give me A bar over here. So I see that the field at point P, which was the general point which I had taken, was nothing but a constant multiplied with this constant distance, that is the distance between O and A, right? So what can we conclude from this? From this, we can conclude that the field at any point inside this cavity, the field at any point inside this cavity would have this value rho A by 3 epsilon naught, where A is the distance between O and P, where A is the distance between O and A, where A bar is the vector drawn from O to A. So anywhere if you find out your field, you'll find that your field will be parallel to this line. It would be parallel to this line everywhere. And also have the same magnitude, that is rho A bar by 3 epsilon naught. Finally, the answer for this question will be, you will see that the field inside this cavity will be non-zero and uniform. It will be non-zero and uniform for this case, right? So this is a pretty important concept, and there can be other models of question which can be based on this concept as well. And this is basically like a theory part, as in we can take this as the theoretical result right now. So your field inside the cavity, which is formed inside a uniformly charged sphere, will be uniform everywhere. And in what direction will that field be? The direction of the field everywhere inside this cavity would be in the direction of the line joining the center of the sphere to the center of the cavity. And the value will be equal to rho by 3 epsilon naught into the distance between them, This was your A bar over it, right? So I hope this question is clear, and you can find different models of question asked based on the same concept over it.